Yes, I'm recording. Okay. Um, this is attempt number 5 or whatever to explain the geometry stuff. So I have my roommate Matthias right with me here, and I was also going to explain to him how this works. So not really how this works, but what I've been up to. So geometry nodes, they are procedural modeling workflow in Blender, and the starting point is the platonic solids, the 5 shapes that can be, they're the 5 perfect shapes, let's say, because they have equal faces, equal lengths, equal vertices, and they're the only 5 in the world which have this property. And from them you can derive other shapes. So, for example, the truncated tetrahedron, the truncated cube, the cube octahedron, the truncated octahedron, the truncated dodecahedron. What do all these shapes have in common? Their edge lengths are all the same. And they're all equidistant from the origin, so the same radius, let's say. This one is a soccer ball, by the way. Or football, sorry. I'm American, I guess. And from these shapes, you can take what's called a dual, and you can get the Catalan solids. And
any reason they're called that?
I think the person who discovered them or published a paper on them, that was their last name. This one's a cool one. And all of these shapes can be derived, well, all of these are derived from the platonic solids, but all of these shapes can be derived using various operations on the geometry, such as truncation, expansion, rectification, and other things. These are all convex. I don't know if that means anything to anybody watching, but the point is that these shapes are sort of like the basis for more complicated geometry, because the properties of these shapes are all very precise and mathematical. So just for example, if I choose the rhombiicosydodecahedron, great name. I have the stellation modifier, which I developed just today, actually. I finished. Let's see here. It actually looked quite different when I first showed it. There we go. There's more interesting patterns starting to emerge, and I would like to think that these are sort of like, here, let's just have this animated, the basis for other shapes which I can derive. Let's see here. Kind of like this. I don't know. I think that's just a impressive looking geometric structure. And there are other things too which can be done. For example, if I just take the octahedron and do an expansion modifier like this, some other interesting shapes are emerging. Here at -3, I believe. No, -1.5. So I built these modifiers. You get some interesting symmetries, and I probably don't have the brain power to find it here in this file, but I'll put in a clip of other things which I've harvested from these workflows. I am pretty proud of this truncation node, which turns any convex regular solid or not regular solid, but any uniform solid into its dual. Because dual mesh in Blender, the node doesn't actually work in all cases, so I had to make something which does. I also had to make a this is called rectification, by the way. This, I don't know if anybody knows what that means, but I had to make my own convex hull modifier as well. This is called compounding duals, so you get more interesting shapes, and this works for any of the solids here. So yeah, I feel like, for example, if I isolated these intersections, which I can do, then I've got a cool basis for some sort of interesting looking rotational object. Interesting, I don't know if this one is compounded correctly. Something about that is off. I'm gonna need to investigate that. But can also turn them into sort of an atom structure. That's just
Oh, it's the atomium.
You recognize that? What do you think it is?
It's the atomium in Brussels.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, it could be any shape. I thought you were saying it's exactly a pentachus dodecahedron compounded with a whatever the hell the dual is. Obviously, you know. But yeah, I don't know. So what's your verdict? Am I crazy? Am I insane? Is this a useless endeavor? What?
Not at all.
Not at all.
I know many math nerds that would geek out on the possibilities here.
Yeah.
And I think this is justification in and of itself.
This right here.
Yeah.
Look at this though. I can actually change the truncation on the fly.
Pretty neat.
Or not truncation, the stellation sort of shape. So there's some, I think, cool opportunities there. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. But imagine there's things called Johnson solids as well, which I think will create more interesting opportunities, because all of these have sort of radial symmetry.
Mhm.
But I want to eventually take, for example, like these things which are flying out of the shape, basically. I want to actually curve them and make them move in different directions and other stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
Pretty cool.
My brain is kind of melting. Anyways, this is supposed to be a sort of like a snapshot video. It's not the only thing which I've worked on. Oh, I don't even know if this node is gonna work correctly. Just a star. I worked pretty hard on this one as well. There's other stuff as well. Yeah. They're not all in this file, I don't think. But some of the visuals which I've been working on have already this stuff integrated. Anyways, it's really easy to get lost in the sauce. Yeah. I might be lost in the sauce. Just look at this. And these are all like, there's nested nodes in here, so stuff like this is inside these. It's a mess. Not a mess. I've tried to organize the chaos, but yeah. It's math, but I'm hoping with a solid mathematical basis I can create more expressive art that's like hypnotizing and perfect. Maybe I'm trying to chase perfection or something, but yeah, anyways, enough philosophy, enough spewing of thoughts. Oh my god, I'm crazy.
Slap a few shaders on there.
Yeah, okay. That's it.